Hello and welcome back, everyone. Scootsy16 here with another episode of The Road to the Show with Digg. And we are starting off with Season 4. Season 5. We are getting into Season 5 with Digg. And I just wanted to do a little bit of a recap as to how we've gotten to where we are today. As we've gone through 4 seasons already, Digg has made some pretty significant development. He started as a D overall. He is now a C, so a full letter grade in 4 seasons. And as you may remember, there were a couple of seasons there where we didn't get that much opportunities for development for him. So, in case anyone is not super familiar with Digg, he does start off as a shortstop with the utility infield as a secondary position. He did drop that in Season 1 down to third base only. I don't think that that's the worst thing in the world, as we've primarily focused on keeping him at shortstop. But in the meantime, we'll also see what his development has looked like so far. I did go back to the base version of Digg, and just to compare, in his first 4 seasons, he has gone from 7 total power up to 28, so a gain of 21 power so far. Doesn't feel like a lot, but overall it's still making some pretty big strides. He starts with 27 contact, that's now at 37, 10 more there. Speed, he starts with 31, he's at up to 57, so it's starting to become pretty respectable in that, right? Fielding starts at 87, it is now maxed out at 99. He is an elite fielder, and his arm hasn't done too much, as it went from 69 up to 71. He has maintained his utility trait, which he has had his entire career. He does start with easy target as a second trait, and he has lost that. Back in Season 1, it was a random development for him, which bumped him up to a D+ back at the end of Season 1. And then, last year, he gained the stimulated trait. So, we built this team around scholarly and crafty traits so that Digg can be maxed out in those 2 traits. Unfortunately, with stimulated, we don't get to see that really activate when we're simulating these games, but it is great to see how much he has progressed. Last year, we spent a grand total of $2,108,500 on development for Digg, and it led to plus 10 power, plus 6 contact, plus 4 speed, 1 fielding, and plus 2 arm. That bumped him from a C- up to a C rating, and he, of course, gained that stimulated trait. Production-wise, he has actually produced really well in the last few seasons. So starting back in Season 2, he had 15 hits, including a 10-game hitting streak, if you recall. Then we had 13 for 48 in Season 3 and 13 for 55 in Season 4. So average doesn't look great, but we have been able to see him produce, I would say, well above his actual ratings, which I'm really happy about. So with that recap out of the way, and we start Season 5, I do want to make note that not a whole lot of exciting changes have occurred. Really, I just want this team to be maintained with some younger players that we can have fun seeing them develop, like Sullivan Osborne here, and I think, Felix Farmhand has been a pretty fun development just as a side task while we're working on improving Digg. Even Werner Bergenberg, as he starts a B-, he is now an A. That's a pretty significant improvement for him, despite the K neglector trait. But let's go ahead and get into the routine, where we will set the lineup, and then we will simulate the games, and we'll run through a few different things. So we set the lineup. We got Digg in the number 8 spot. Let's see how he does in the first game of the series, as we'll simulate against the Buzzards. And first game of the season, we win 6-2. Didn't see Digg's name pop up in there, unfortunately, but let's see. Actually, give me one moment. We'll give the boost to Sullivan here. And we'll do another one. I'll give the boost to Amazo Hayes. He's more expensive. Oh my god, another one. And we'll drop Carrie Wayward, as she is much older and not very valuable to us. All right, and since that game, actually, let's take a look at this. What I'm going to try and get into a routine here of what this process is going to look like. Digg went 1 for 4. He had a single. He did score a run, and he also struck out 3 times, which is not great, but getting his first hit of the year out of the way already, which is nice to see. Since that game ended, we have a few different development, including one for Digg Aforto, so we'll be able to do that in just a second. Some random arcs here. We'll see if we can get any of those, or get a few of those for Digg this year. He only had one last year, and it was -2 speed after Game 5, so I'd rather see some positive random arcs for him like we saw in year 1 when he lost easy target. So let's go to development. We will go through all of these and just clean them out as we approach Diggs, which is right here. And of course, I will take note on my spreadsheet here that we are going to do, this one's pretty easy. It's just +1 speed. And this one's going to cost us $73,500, so pretty affordable there. And with that one, it's yoga classes for Digg again. Believe it or not, contorting one's body into a human suitcase can improve one's baseball skills. And apparently for Digg, that's a slight increase to his speed rating. So let's get that one. Bumps him up to a 58. We'll get these other ones out of here as well. And does not gain walk prone there for Felix. That's nice to see. And bonus contact there for Simon Sanders. All right, so that's all of the development. That'll bring us to the next game. Nemesis have won the first 2 games of the season, dropping us to 2nd place. We will have Trey Mondo on the mound, as he's been another kind of side task for me in development, which has been fun to see. Let's go ahead and set the suggested lineup. Digg is tense after 3 strikeouts. I understand why. Let's see if he can fight through it. This might be one of the first times he's been tense in the Road to the Show franchise. So let's see if he can battle through it. Let's simulate the game. And don't see anything. Okay, there we go. Right at the end, but we still lose 4-3. We'll drop Sanders here. I think he's older. That'll be it for manager moments. So we split our record at 1 apiece. And before we check out what happened, or what happened after the game, let's check. Digg, second hit, and he goes 1 for 3. He strikes out one more time. He scores another run. So both times he's reached base, he's scored, which is nice to see. His average at 286. And I wonder if that knocked him out of his tense mojo. Yep, he's still tense, unfortunately, so we'll see if another game with another hit can maybe get him settled back in on straight. And looking at what has happened since the game ended, nothing of note for Digg. So that means we'll just get rid of all of these options here. Okay. Development for some of these weaker players is always nice to see if they can improve at all, even the older ones. And you see a lot of risky rolls with bad traits, but we don't really care about that at this point. So it brings us to game 3. Barry Ozone will be on the mound. Let's set the lineup, and Digg will still be tense for this matchup. Let's see if he can fight through it. He's 2 for 7. We'll simulate this game, and Digg knocks in an RBI single. So he's still producing, and we get a win there. We're up to 2-1 record. Between these two, I'll give it to Maze Dudley. I believe she is younger. And between these two, I'll give it to Simon. Another one. Okay. Adoya is the older player here. Okay, that does it for that. We'll see how Digg did. We know he had an RBI single. Let's see if he did anything else and see if he got his mojo back. First off, he's back to neutral. Awesome. And he is, 4 for 11. So he went 2 for 4 with an RBI single, all singles, and no strikeouts. And he scored another run. 2 more runs. So holy moly, Digg has been productive. His average up to 364 now. Doing a great job to start the season. A 3-game hitting streak for him. All right, since that game ended, we have regression. We have a development for Digg with speed and arm and a chance to get his utility trait back, which would be amazing. And let's see, anything else happening out here? Nothing of note. So let's get over to Digg's development option here. And what game were we on? We're on game 4, so we just finished game 3. And this is going to be 186, 400. And let's see, puppy adoption saves you a lot of time in the long run, picking up after batting practice. So Digg got himself a little pet, a puppy. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any ideas for what Digg might have named his puppy, and what kind of dog you think he would like. Let's see how much that does for him in his development. I'm pretty sure this is a pretty big moment in his life, so we'll see if it makes a big impact. +1 speed, no bonus there. And he doesn't get the roll for his utility trait or utility position to come back. But he gains 1 speed and 1 arm, and that will put him at 72 arm and 59 speed. So again, continuing to improve. Love to see that for Digg. That's the second time already this season. So let's hopefully see him continue to develop this year. Maybe we can make some big strides. Gertie Goatman just gained K Neglector, which is unfortunate, especially at tier 3. Probably look to get rid of him sometime sooner rather than later, and that's all the development there. So set the lineup for the fourth game of the season. The first quarter is about to be over, and Digg will sit in that 8th spot in the order. Sakta's song is on fire, and just as a reminder, Digg is a 4 for 11. Sakta's on fire. He hasn't even had a home run yet, which is interesting. 3 doubles, though. So 4 for 11 before this game. Let's go ahead and simulate, see if the Overdogs can win another game. We can take an early lead. No notes here. An RBI double for Digg Aforto, so he continues to produce. Unfortunately, we still lose. We're going to drop loyalty for Ganez. All right, and let's simulate to our next game before we do anything else. Crocs, undefeated, 5-0. They're on a streak, which I hate those Crocs. Let's see what happened. So we know we had an RBI double. He has a 4-game hitting streak, but Digg goes, he goes 3 for 5 in that game with an RBI double. He had 2 doubles in that game. And still no strikeouts after the second game of the season. So what a great start for Digg. He's 7 for 16 with a 438 average and an OPS of 1,000. So great work for Digg. He is doing really well in another good hot start to the season. Keep in mind, Digg is almost halfway, or already halfway to his, or nearly halfway to his season high for hits in a season, with 15 back in season 2. So he is on a torrid pace already. Love to see that for Digg. All right, since that game ended, let's find it. Okay, there we go. So any development for Digg or any random rolls for Digg? It doesn't look like it. Nope, nothing happened for him, unfortunately. So let's clear these out. And consistent for Felix Farmhand as he is getting better and better. His development has been really impressive. Again, we're thinking about doing a pitcher for the next Road to the Show. So if you have any ideas, I am open to the idea of taking, like moving Barry back to age 19 so we can develop him from there if we wanted to. I didn't move Digg's age because he starts at age 21, I believe. So I just left him as is. I would rather find a young pitcher. Like, I think Felix does start at a really young age at like 19 or 20. But if you have any ideas for really bad pitchers, ideally starting pitchers, because we can control them getting into action in the games, love to see any ideas that you have in the comments down below. All right. Next game is with the Grapplers. Let's see if Digg can do anything even more productive as he gets bumped up to the 7th spot in the order. Let's see how he does with Warner Bergenberg on the mound. Get an early lead, and we hold that lead. Big win for the Overdogs as we stay in second place. A bump Ganez just for evening out the loyalty there. And that's it for manager moments. All right, so Crocs stay undefeated. They're the only undefeated team in the league. And let's see what we have going. Since that game ended... Oh, actually, we got to check out Digg. He was 7 for 16. He goes 8 for 20, so he is 1 for 4. with a single, it looks like, and he did strike out once. So his average drops to 400, but still really solid. And he is still neutral mojo. He is on a 5-game hitting streak to start the year. So another great job for Digg. I've never seen this type of production from him. Even when I tried this out before, I made him through quite a few seasons. I never got him to retirement, but he never produced at this level, which is super fun to see. All right, any development for Digg after game 5? I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so clear these out. For Gertie, he keeps his specialist trait. He gets his back to to B+. I'm not going to do this one for Kai Fury. I don't want to give him Noodle Arm as a catcher, so we're just going to skip that one. Sullivan gives a little bit of a contact boost there. Churl, that's another power boost for him. Andrew Specialo, nothing special there. And for Sakta, this will put him at 99, and he avoids dropping his secondary position. So he's maxed out in everything except for arm. Just crazy how good he is. And that's going to do it. We have the one. We'll leave it there. And hopefully we can get some development for Digg in the next one. So we set the lineup. And again, Digg is 8 for 20 before this game. And he's on a 5-game winning streak or hitting streak. Let's see if he can keep that up against the Jacks and a injured Punchy Patterson. All right. We see Digg cashing in a run, and we went 14-0. What a slaughter against the Jacks, who are having a really rough season. I'll drop Galvin here. And we will give a boost here to Simon as he's taken a couple of hits so far. Gertie will probably leave the team anyway, so let's drop him. Okay, that's all for that. Simming ahead to the next game, and Crocs get their first loss of the year. They're 6-1. We're a game and a half behind them in second place, which is pretty surprising. Let's see what Digg did. He was 8 for 20 before this. He is now 9 for 24, so a 1 for 4 day with another RBI. It was a single. He walked once as well. And I think that's everything here. I don't think he struck out. It's so hard to keep up with remembering the numbers, but he maintains his hitting streak, and his hot pace to start the year continues through 6 games. All right, any development for Digg? No luck, unfortunately. 2 to start the year, and and we haven't had much else afterwards. Development for Filet. Skip that one for Kai again, and bonus there for Carrie Wood or Wayward. Ooh, big bonuses there for Handero Specialo. He is a B- now. Galvin gets a bonus there, and Adoya, no bonuses for her, or for him, excuse me. So next game against the Nemesis, we set the lineup. Filet is on fire, Sakta's on fire, Digg sitting in the number 8 spot, and he is 9 for 24 going into this game. Let's see how he does. Quiet game, we went 4-1. Osborne with a 3-run homer was the big difference there. I'm going to drop Dangerfield over Bergenberg. I'll bump Gertie, I guess. Man, we've gotten a lot of manager moments. Okay. We sim ahead to the next game against the Heaters. We're sitting at 5-2. We're a game back of the Crocs. And let's see what Digg did. He was 9 for 24. He is 9 for 27. So his hitting streak ends at 6 games. He goes 0 for 3. He struck out once. And I think that's about it for that game. So unfortunate day for Digg as his hitting streak ends, and see if he can start up another one heading into game 8, which is the halfway point of the season. But before we do that, any development for the big guy? Nope, no development, no random arcs either. So let's go ahead and clear these out. we're going to hold off on this one for Kai again. Can't believe it's still there. Bonus contact for Sullivan, who just had the home run. Werner, chance to lose K-Neglector. He keeps it, unfortunately. And Trey loses, or would lose Volatile. He does not. Let's see, Kai gets the bonus fielding there. He's even better in that aspect. All right, so let's set the lineup for game 8. This is the halfway point of the season. Digg is tense. We'll see if he can break out of that in this one. Sorry, I want to make sure I remember. He's 9 for 27. Let's see how he does against the Heaters. And nothing of note here. We lose 5-2. Bump Sanders. And that was it for that. So let's go ahead and sim to our next game. We're heading into the second half of the season with a plus 23 run differential and a 5-3 record. Pretty impressive when you look at our starting rotation and how bad they are. Before we check out what happened, he was 9 for 27. He went 1 for 4. And I think he struck out again. Another double, as he has 3 now on the year. And he is only 3 hits away from matching last year's hit total at the halfway mark of the season, and 5 hits away from setting a new record for himself in the hit category. So that's really really exciting to see from Digg, who, again, his attributes are just not there yet, but he is still showing that he knows how to hit really well. I think when he gets a little bit better, we might actually watch a game here or there, at least watch an at-bat. But I don't know if we're there just yet, because I want to make sure we can get through these videos in a timely manner. There is development for Digg, a chance for him to gain some power. Hopefully we can get the bonus there, because he needs a big boost there. And a couple of other opportunities for some other players. A big 11 power boost for Sullivan Osborne, who's getting some really good development. All right. We just finished game 8. Okay. So let's go down to Diggs. Digg with game 8 being a power boost. And this one costs 443,200. And let's see. No pain, no gain when it comes to weightlifting. Let's see if he can push through some pain to gain that bonus 5 power. Plus 3. And he gets the bonus 5 power, so a plus 8 boost to his power rating. What a huge bump for him. And that possibly bumps him to a C+. Let's see. He is a C+ now. Excellent. So big development role for Digg Fordo. Plus 8 power. He's up to 36 now. And remember, he starts at 7 total. So really impressive jump for him over the last couple of seasons. Actually getting really close to that contact rating. And he's becoming pretty respectable, or at least he's getting closer to that. All right, let's clear out the rest of these. Goatman keeps his neglector trait, unfortunately. Mondo with a velocity boost and more velocity for Felix Farmhand, and that'll clear those out. So Digg will stay in the lineup. He bumps up to 7. He is currently 10 for 31. And let's see how he does against the Platypi. Bergenberg back on the mound. He is pitching really well. Digg hits a sacrifice fly. We go up to 6-3. I'll drop Goatman here.
Feeling like the chief of chafe?
And let's do Galvin.
Don't just adjust.
All right, simulate to our next game. Procs at 9-1. They're having a hell of a season. We're 2.5 back of them. And let's see how Digg did. He was 10 for 31. He goes 10 for 34, so he went 0 for 3. But again, he had the sacrifice fly, so he's up to 4 RBIs. And yeah, not much else going on for him. So average dropping down to 294, but he's still having a really good season. Staying in the top, 5 for hits on the team. Facta leading that category with 18. So we'll see if Digg can get a few more hits and possibly break that record for most in the season for him. Another development for him with power and arm this time. Get to that in just a second. No other random arcs. Let's head down to Digg after... sorry, I keep forgetting to do this before I click. Okay, so we're going into Game 9 and going into Game 10. And another development for Digg is going to be 204, 500, and this says long toss. Be able to hit home plate from center field with a sonic boom over second. Love to see him doing a little bit of long toss to lengthen that arm. As someone who's such an elite fielder, you definitely want him to have a strong arm as well. Let's get a boost there, which is something that he hasn't gotten a lot of support with over the last few seasons. So let's see how well that long toss does for Digg. We have +2 arm, +4 arm, the big bonus again, the second time we've rolled a big bonus there, and he's going to get a little bit of extra power in his swing along the way. So long toss is helping out quite a bit for Digg. He is up to 76 arm now, and his power is even with contact at 37 each. So great development for him. Let's see if we can avoid some negative outcomes on some of these other rolls. Let's see. So far, so good. And Filet, and then the last one for Kai Fury, and that's going to clear out all of those. So we go to Game 10. It's against the Buzzards, who are sitting at 5-5. So set the lineup, and Digg will sit in the number 9 spot, as Mondo is going to get to hit from the 6th spot, which is interesting. He's locked in. All right. So Digg, 10 for 34. Let's see if he can get himself another hit. And Digg cracks an RBI double, another extra base hit for Digg, and we go 7-3 on the year. All right, so we'll drop Goatman here. Sim to our next game. Croc's still 9-1, so we're catching up to them. And let's see, he went 10 for 34 up to this point. He goes 11 for 36, so 1 for 2 day. Another walk, I believe, putting him at 2 total. He gets another double, his 4th of the year, and his 5th RBI. His average goes up to 306, and I believe he scored a run as well. So very impressive. Very, very happy to see the production we're getting from Digg in his young career. Let's see if we can get any more development for him along the way too. And power boost there. Chance for K Neglector to get dropped on Bergenberg. Unfortunately, nothing for Digg. Okay, so development there. Bergenberg still keeping that K Neglector trade, unfortunately. Sakta getting the boost in his arm. Purdy with some development. Unfortunately, Dudley gains base jogger, but also gains the bonus power there. And then Filet, no bonuses for him. All right, let's set the lineup. Digg locked in. He is 11 for 36 heading into this matchup against the Crocs. This is a big game for the team. And with Gem Qualita tense right now, it's a good chance that we might be able to get an upset victory here. Let's see how we do. We take an early lead, and we hold on. 5-2 victory, and we are only a game behind the Crocs, who just got their 2nd loss of the year. So big win for the Overdogs. The team is working really well together. We'll drop Adoya here. Okay, let's sim ahead to our next game. We're going to be facing the Crocs again, and we're going to have to see Norm Phenomeno, who's locked in. Let's see, what did Digg do since that game ended? He was 11 for 36, 12 for 40, so a 1 for 4 day. He scores another run. He has another single, and that's about it. I don't think he's struck out either, because he's been sitting on 8 strikeouts for a minute. So his average sitting at 300 even. Another solid year going for Digg here. Any more development for the big guy? And nothing there. Let's go ahead and clear out these PDOs. Big bonuses for Sullivan there, and speed and fielding. Carrie keeps her K Neglector trait. Dudley with some small boosts there. Campos avoids Wild Thing and gets a bonus to accuracy. And Galvin will avoid bad jumps. So that's all of that. Next game against the Crocs, trying to go for the sweep. We'll set the lineup. We'll have a Digg in the number 7 spot. He is 12 for 40 right now. Let's see how he does. Crocs and Norm Phenomeno. We take an early lead with a Digaforto hit, and we end up winning 8-3. So we sweep the Crocs and we take the lead in the division with plus 36 run differential at 9-3. Excellent. Definitely didn't expect this was the team that was going to produce like this when I just signed random players in the offseason. We're, of course, not going to drop Digg's loyalty here, so it's going to go to Hander, a Specialo. All right. Head to our next game, and the Crocs get another win, so we drop to half a game behind them again. And let's see what Digg did. He was 12 for 40. He goes 13 for 45 with another RBI. He's 13 for 45, so that's a 1 for 5 day. I think he struck out once, and I don't know if he scored a run, but I think it was just a single that he had because he was already at 4 doubles. So his average drops to 286 or 289, but he's still getting hits. He's now up to 13, just 2 hits away from his pace that he set back in season 1. Let's see what happened since the game ended. Come on, let's get at least 2 more developments for Digg before the end of the season here. It's not going to happen after this game. Clear these out. Bonus velocity for Felix. He's getting really good. He's a B+ now. That's crazy. All right, Ganez, clear that one out. And Hender loses consistent. Gertie keeps his Neglector trait, unfortunately. And bonuses there for Filet. He doesn't get them. Nothing bad for Churl. And that'll do those. So next game against the Jacks, they're sitting at 6 and 7, so a little bit better than they were last time we saw them. Digg will go to the 8th spot in the lineup again. He is 13 for 45. Let's see how he does against Punchy Patterson, who's back to full health now. And we have nothing of note from Digg, but we win again, and we're 10 and 3. Can't believe this team is doing this well. We'll drop Ganez's loyalty here. He's much older. And let's do Churl. Probably should have done Campos there, but oh well. All right, sim ahead to in the next game. It's the second game of the doubleheader against the Jacks. We already beat them once. We'll come back to that in just a second, but before we do, how did Digg do? He went 14 for 49. I think he was 46 before, so he went 1 for 3. Average at 286. And a couple of strikeouts for him, too. I wonder if that made him tense. Nope, he's still at neutral, fortunately, so that's good. Okay. Another hit for Digg. He's at 14 now. I need development for Digg. Come on. Unfortunately not, but Werner just gained a 2-seam fastball, so he is getting even better. Get these out of the way. Right, Amazo gains the K Collector trait and +7 accuracy, so that's pretty amazoing. No negative outcomes there for Churl. And he gets some of his loyalty back. Werner keeps his elite slider, thankfully. He's an A+ now. Any Werner Bergenberg fans out there, I'm sure you're happy to see that, although I'm sure you're pretty mad that I allowed him to get K Neglector. Let's set the lineup for game 2. This one's going to be a tough one against a juiced starting pitcher. And Sakta will sit in this, or I'm sorry, Digg will sit in the number 7 spot. He is 14 for 49. Let's see how well he does in this next one against the Jacks. 14 for 49. Not seeing anything pop up for Digg, but we win 3-2 in extra innings. We go to 11-3. I don't know how we're still playing this well. I'm sure we'll run into a buzzsaw in the playoffs.
Listener-supported radio. Super Mega Radio.
Another one here. Let's give it to Churl.
Except it's my voice.
And that'll do it. Let's send to our next game. We have 2 games left. One against the Nemesis, and I think two against the Nemesis, if I'm not mistaken. All right. How is Digg doing? 14 for 54, so I think he had an 0 for 5 day and a couple of strikeouts there. So not a great day against a juice pitcher. Totally understandable. He has 2 more games to get at least 1 more hit to tie his season high. Let's see if he can at least keep his hits above his strikeout total. All right, anything happened for Digg since that game ended? Ooh, we have development for Digg for speed. We'd love to see that. Anything speed, power, or contact related, I think, is incredibly valuable for him. So we just finished game 14. Let's go ahead and get this documented. And 216, 700. Let's see, what do we got here? Victory vitamins. They claim to be 100% natural, but you can't help but notice that they glow in the dark. Oh no, Digg is starting to do some extracurriculars. Let's see if it at least pays off for him, and hopefully we don't do any he doesn't run subject to any drug tests anytime soon. How will the victory vitamins treat him? +2 speed does not get the bonus there, unfortunately, but he's up to 61 in speed, so let's get the +2 in there. All right. And he's getting better. I mean, this is a pretty viable option to have as an actual starter, especially with that stimulated trait, but definitely would still be a good option as a backup for the time being for a lot of teams. Especially just get some raw rolls here, some bad luck this season for him. Bonus roll for Werner for the extra junk. Trey does not lose his stimulated trait, and Campos just gets 1 junk there. So we're getting to the end of the season. Let's set the lineup here. See how Digg can finish. He's sitting back in the 8 spot. He is currently 14 for 54. And going up against Doyen Stafford, who's having a great year. Nothing notable, and we end up losing. We give up a big loss there, 6-5 against the Nemesis. And we are going back-to-back with the Nemesis. So we'll come back to that in just a second. It's 14 for 54. He gets a hit, 15 for 58, which means he went 1 for 5. His average sitting at 259. He scores a run. He does strike out once, but he does tie the best he's had in a season, 15 hits. So really exciting production from Digg this year. Another great season for him production-wise as he continues to develop. All right, anything else going on here? Let's see, anything for Digg? Come on, let's get one more before the end of the season at least. All right, that's not going to happen, unfortunately. I'm going to still do this roll for Filet Jones here because he needs the speed. He gets the bonus speed, and he does avoid Noodle Arm, which is very good. All right. And no hurt there for Simon. Bonus for Ganez. She's a B-. No bonuses for Churl. He's an A, though. Barry getting a little bit better, and Osborne needed the contact, doesn't get any bonuses. All right, 1 game left. It's the 16th game of the season. It looks like the Digg is tense for the last game of the season. Can he break his season high in hits? He's 15 for 58. Let's see how he does with 1 game left against the Nemesis. And we end up losing 5-2. So an unfortunate end to the season. The good news is we will take the division lead no matter what, as the Crocs, even if they win their last game, will tie us in record but still lose in run differential. And we have the best record in the league. That's just, I did not expect that. So we will get to see some playoffs from Digg and the Overdogs here again for another season. So I'm going to probably get rid of Hander here, as he has gotten some bad traits. All right, sim ahead to the end of the season. Crocs do lose, so after going, I think, 9-1, they end up finishing 10-6. Tough end of the year for them. All right, now the question is, did Digg get another hit? No, he did not. He ends 15 for 61, and he does not get any strikeouts either. He does walk once, and he ends the year with 4 doubles, 7 runs scored, 6 RBIs, 19 total bases, 3 walks, 15 total hits. Let's see how that compares to seasons past. Most at-bats in a season for him, tied for most hits in a season. He is 6 RBIs are tied for second most. His average sitting just below his career average. Same with OBP. His slugging a little bit higher than his career average, and his OPS a little bit lower. He does end up with 7 runs, which is the most he's scored in a season. 19 total bases, tied for the most he's seen. 4 doubles, most in a season for him. 3 walks, which pales in comparison to the 7 that he got in both season 2 and 3. And 15 strikeouts, pretty on par with what he normally gets. No stolen bases for Digg, nothing extracurricular, no errors either, but he did have 1 sacrifice fly. So overall, I think a pretty good year for Digg in season 5 at age 25. And pretty happy with what we saw from him production-wise. Now, can we do a little bit more development before the playoffs start? Let's see. Anything going on for Digg? Yes, he's got more power and contact to develop here. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Digg for getting some sluggerade after Game 16. Heading into the playoffs, this is going to cost him 301, 900. And it says, sluggerade, everything a growing player needs, and several things they don't. So, yeah, he is starting to maybe push himself a little bit more to develop a little bit quicker. Maybe he's making some questionable decisions, but let's hope he can benefit from them. Can he get the bonus power of +3, a 10% chance? Let's see. He does not get the bonus. So +1 power, +1 contact puts him at 38 for both of those. I'm liking that they're staying pretty even, and let's see if we can, next year see a bigger jump in both of those ratings. So after the full 16-game season, we have had 6 development opportunities for Digg. All positive outcomes this year. Unfortunately, no random arcs for him, and we spent a total of $1,426,200 on Digg this season. So 1.4 million, less than the 2.1 million we spent last year, but with some really positive development for the big Digg Aforto. But we're not done just yet. We have the the playoffs to start. So let's go ahead. Actually, I don't need to clear out the. No, actually, I want to do it just in case it gives Digg a chance at the end of the season. Man, we've had like 6 chances for Werner to lose that K neglector trait, and he just will not get rid of it. All right, so the rest of the team getting some quick boosts before the end of the season. Let's start the playoffs. We'll sim through these again. We do have to face off against the Buzzards first, so let's see how well we can do. Quick sim of everything, 11-10, big win for the Crocs. Let's see how we do against the Buzzards. And Digg in the 8 spot. Let's simulate the game. Ace Von Asen versus Werner Bergenberg. And we do end up winning 7-4. So they snuck up a little bit there, but we were able to hold off. I'll sim ahead to our next game. And let's just quick check and see. Did Digg do anything in that game? He went 2 for 4. He had a double, 3 total hits. He struck out twice as well, but that's a great day for Digg, contributing to the cause despite not scoring any runs or hitting any RBIs. We love to see it. All right, so no development for Digg. let's go ahead and just set the lineup and simulate the next game. These go a little bit quicker. Digg will sit in the number 9 spot. Let's go ahead and see how Trey Mondo does. We fall behind early. We fight back, but not enough. We lose 7-4. So we split the series so far. Digg was 2 for 4 after the first game. Let's see how well he did. He went 0 for 4 in that game. That's not great. Another 2 strikeouts for him. He needs to turn things around a little bit. So let's see if he can. He is tense. Let's see if he can fight out of it against Hiro Masano. And we went 4-0. I didn't see Digg's name pop up. We'll sim ahead. Crocs already won their series. They swept the Grapplers. Let's see, how did Digg do? Let's set this line up first. He's still tense. He was 2 for 8. He went 1 for 4. And I think he struck out again. It was just a single, nothing else happening. And he has 4 strikeouts now. So set the lineup. Let's simulate ahead against the Rita Wakanda and the Buzzards. See if we can take the lead. We do. We lose it. We fight back. It's a back and forth matchup. And we hold off to win 11-10. And I don't know if you saw that, but Ace Von Asen came in at the end for the Buzzards as they were pulling out all the stops to try and win. Unfortunately, they couldn't do it. So the Freebooters beat the Moonstars. Let's see, how did Digg do? He is now rattled. That's not good. 4 for 17. And 2 more strikeouts. Yeah, having a really rough time. He did score a run. And unfortunately, we can't even put anybody in to replace him because nobody can play shortstop. That was intentionally done, but we've never run into this issue. So let's fight out of it, Digg. You can do it. And we lose 4-1. Yeah, the Crocs have just been our nemesis this entire series. I think he was 4 for 17. He's still rattled. And he's 4 for 20. So, I think he had a double early. No, he had 2 doubles earlier, I thought. I don't remember. I'm sorry, Digg, but you're going to have to fight through this. We're going to have to do the best you can. Digg with another strikeout, unfortunately. We lose 5-3. So we're on the verge of getting swept by the Crocs again. Let's see how Digg is doing. Is he still... Yeah, he's still rattled. I'm sorry, Digg. That's the one drawback, and he's still hitless. And with more strikeouts, 10 total now. He also got hit. And he has an error. Boy, he's fallen apart on us. After a hot start to the playoffs. All right, potentially last game of the season. We fall behind. We fight back. A big Dudley home run. And we end up winning, so we don't get swept, thankfully. The Freebooters split the series, and now it's our turn to see what Kerry Wayward could do versus Norm Phenomena, who's locked in. Let's see. To Digg, he's still rattled. 4 for 28. It's getting worse and worse for the poor guy. Another strikeout as well. Oh man, I feel so bad. And we lose 3-2, so it's unfortunate, but we get knocked out of the playoffs again. And we'll simulate the rest of the way through it. And the Crocs finally take the entire championship series, as this is the first time, I think. Let's see. The Crocs made it in year 1 and lost. In year 2, they made it but got swept in the first round. Year 3, they made it to the playoffs but got beaten in the first round. They've made it every year. Oh, they won last year against the Sirloins. So they went back-to-back championships. Those bastards. Damn it. And they beat us last year too, didn't they? Yeah, so they swept us last year. We did a little bit better by winning 1 game out of the 5-game set this year, but unfortunately we still did not one of these days we'll beat him. I know that's not the primary reason why we're playing this series, but now I kind of want to set the goal out to try and beat up on the Crocs. Now, I have to be careful about our development because, as you can see, we're at 8.8 million. So I probably will have to go into a bit of a rebuild, if you will, just to kind of help us refill that the development total, as we're not as high as we used to be. Now, before we get into the end of the off season, of course, as you know, I will always do. I'm gonna just decide on Digg Forto, and then we will finish up. So there is a 91% chance he comes back, but he's asking for 4.1. He's valued at 4.8. I think it's worth giving him what he's asking for, and I don't even want to risk it. So we're gonna give him the boost here, bump him to 4.1 million in his pay. He has produced like he earned the pay raise, and I think that that's totally fair. And just to give you a slight recap here, Digg having a great year offensively and development-wise. Unfortunately, he had a really awful playoff. This was the best opportunity he's had in the playoffs, but he did not follow through. 4 for 32. He did have 2 doubles early on, but then he just skidded to a complete halt as he couldn't take any time off to try and get himself sorted out. And unfortunately, that ended up backfiring. I think at this point, we could probably find like a really, really bad shortstop option that can fill in just in case. But this way, Digg doesn't have to try and fight through it when he is rattled like that. Anyways, development wise, we saw a boost to his power, a plus 1, 8, 9, 10 total power for him. He gained 1 contact. He gained 2, 3, 4 speed, and then he gained 5 arm. So a great year for Digg overall. He bumps up to a C plus, and he is on the verge of, I think, being an official starter, not just one we're manufacturing, but an official starter in the league. And I am hoping that we can see him become even better down the road. In the comments down below, please let me know what did Digg name his puppy that he adopted. In the comments down below, let me know how you're feeling about Digg's career so far, his development, his production, and let me know if you have any thoughts on how I could handle the rattled mojo that he had in the playoffs there, unfortunately. So I appreciate all of you. If you're enjoying the content, please like the video down below. Please subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. We are so close to hitting 150 as of the recording. I don't think we've hit that number just yet. Nope, we're still just below the 150 subscriber mark. So if you haven't done so already, would really appreciate it. And just enjoy the content. I hope you all are enjoying it as well. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.